Hey everybody, Peter Michael here. This is the second video for July 2011, and basically, as I said in the other video, this is just some details for artists that I wanted to just put on something separate so that it wasn't making the main video too long. I've done this, tried to take this video several times, and each time it goes a little long because I feel very strongly about some of these points, and I tend to go off in a rant, and I don't want to do that, so hopefully this will be a little bit shorter. Just a couple of main points. I want to talk about expectations that artists have and should have for me, and a new rule that I'm applying to the sales that we're doing, as well as just a quick update on the database that I might have mentioned to some of you already, as far as the progress. Now, as far as expectations, I recently had somebody tell me, an artist tell me, that their expectations were not met by me, and I was very troubled by this because I felt it was not a reasonable expectation on their part, but at the same time I felt that it was not something I enjoyed hearing, that somebody wasn't, their satisfaction was not met by me in what they consider to be fair. So I'm going to cover this now so that we're all on the same page, and then bring up the rule that I came up with. Actually nothing new, but just making it very certain so that nobody can tell me they're not familiar with the rule. Alright, expectations. Specifically, what do you expect of me, for you, the artist? Mastonic Records is not just the sale of music. In this day and age, a lot of people aren't buying music, so I'm not going to put all my eggs into the sales basket. As a matter of fact, I've set it up so that it's completely free to the artist, and no charges are incurred for the artist on the sale of the individual song. We're the only people that are actually doing this that I know of in existence. So that's why we have the contest. That's why I'm very selective. I can't just say I'll put anybody up on iTunes. That wouldn't make any sense. I'll put good quality people up on iTunes, and that's why we have the contest. So I consider the contest to be one branch, the sales to be another, the radio show to be another, and the future things that we're working on, like the kit of gear that's going to be sent out around the world, to be a branch that I really right now need to get the time to do. So I need to free myself up from some of these other things. So let's go over what the expectation should be. The sales, if you're interested, for those that win a contest, that music is put up for sale for free to you, the artist. And there's no charge that you get. So in other words, it's the same deal for you. You keep all of the profits from the sales of the music. Now, some people say that they do this, but really they're making a commission on the side from Amazon or iTunes. I don't want to get into a lot of details here, but very simply, if you set up a link and an account with iTunes or Amazon, and then somebody clicks on that link and buys music, iTunes or Amazon will reward you for setting that link up ahead of time with 5 cents a song, and Amazon will award you 10 cents a song. So that's the basic idea behind it. We would like you to be able to have that information. So in the coming tutorial series, that's one of the things we're going to explain how to do, so that you can set that up yourself and make even more money from the sale of your music. But just to be clear, there's an advantage in doing something for free. I did it that way because if I didn't do it for free, then there's an expectation placed on me as far as a service I'm providing for a fee. If I was going to make 5 cents a piece on the sale, then I would have to provide some service. As it is, the service that you get is basically a gift. Now, I'm not saying any of this because I don't like doing it. I'm not saying any of this because, I'm going to turn around and say, you owe me. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that this is a tool that I've set up that's available to everybody who basically is a winner, and it's free. And as such, you got to think of it as a tool, and you have to use the tool. What am I meaning specifically? Well, somebody said to me that this is somebody who made about $5 worth of music sales over the course of over a year. And they were upset with me for not reaching out to them and making sure that they got their money. And that's a quote. I'm not going to mention who this is. This isn't, this isn't one person. One person did express this to me as an artist, but I've had other people bring up questions like this. So I want to be very clear. This is a free tool for you. Some people have elected to use the tool. Some people do. I've said you can seek me out every quarter and get your money. And some people have actually put it out there that, hey, I've got music for sale on iTunes and Amazon. Here you can link to it. They've said they've been proactive in the sale of the music, and they've also reached out to me and said, I'd like to get my money. How are you doing? Hope everything is well. When you get a chance, can you please let me know how much I got, and can we transfer some money to my account? That's how it needs to be handled, and that should be the only expectation that you have on me, is that every quarter, if you reach out to me, I can look up your sales information and get it out to you and get you some money. It is unreasonable to think that with over 100 artists, and really at this point, once I can get this accounting situation resolved, there should be over 150 artists that have music out for sale that I'm handling. I'm not going to be able to seek everybody out and make sure they get their $5 or whatever it is. So how much money are we talking about? Well, I've got 2 artists that are approaching the $50 mark, which means that in a short period of time, I'm going to have 2 artists that are approaching the $100 mark. And that to me is a tremendous milestone, the $100 mark, because it's $100 that was obtained through a free tool that I was able to set up. So I feel pretty strong and pretty happy about that, and I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, that is the expectation that you should have for me, that this tool is available for you for free, and that if you reach out to me, I can get you money and an informational statement about how much music you've sold and when you sold it and who you sold it to. Every bit of information that I get, I will pass to you once a quarter. It's not for everybody. If you don't want me to sell your music, don't send me the MP3 file after you win the contest. And I'm going to be sending out an email, getting verification from everybody that you understand that these are the expectations, and that you also understand the following rule. It's a free thing that I set up, but it's unfair to expect me to pay if you want to remove the song after the fact, for whatever reason. And I don't want to get into the various reasons that have come down the way. Could be a good reason. You could be getting a record deal, and the record company could say, we need to have exclusive control of your music. Not that that is what's going to happen every time, certainly most every time, but you could also have a situation where you say, Peter, you did not meet my expectations on this deal, and I need to take my music down. Please consider the idea of having your music in shelves with other artists and having to go and get those records out, or the CDs or whatever, out of the shelves and removing them. It's pretty much impossible. It would come at great expense. Now, that's not what we have to do in the digital age, but it's certainly not just running over and flipping a light switch on or off. I have to take the album down, $20 fee. I have to put the album back up, $20 fee. I have to manually enter in all the information for each song again, and I have to manually upload all the tracks again. So it takes about 2 hours for me, and I did some math and I figured, okay, what's a fair amount for 2 hours? What's the lowest I've ever paid an employee of mine? It'd be $10 an hour. So I'm going to require $20 for my time to respond to somebody who arbitrarily says, I need to take the song down. So let's add it all up together. And I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm being overly simple so that we can all be on the same page. $20 takedown fee, $20 re-upload fee, and $20 for me for doing it, which is more than fair. That's $60. That's still not me trying to make any money, because $10 an hour is less than I make anywhere else. It's just enough that it's still going to be something I can handle, because I can't handle somebody calling me up or writing me and saying, for whatever reason, I want my music off and you need to pay for it. And I'm not saying that that's what everybody has done, because some people have asked me to take it down and they paid what I've asked them to pay. So I just need to be sure that we're all on the same page and there can be no confusion. Now, why am I doing it, in this video forum, and why am I asking people to agree to an email? Very simply, it's very easy in this business to become overly legalized, meaning that you get a lawyer to look over your agreements, you sign contracts, you get involved in heavy-duty stuff, and we're talking about currently less than $50 per person. So here's the situation. Legally, it would be almost impossible for me to sell a product for a 13-year-old girl from Europe on an international level and then send her the money from the sale. To get a lawyer to even handle that for me would cost money. To get a lawyer for her to handle it at her end would cost money. And what would be the end of the deal? We wouldn't make any money because we spent it on legal fees. I have nothing against the legal profession, but in this case, I'm able to sell music for a 13-year-old girl from Europe and send her the money that is a result of her sales and help her out. She likes it, I like it, and that's all that's really required in any agreement, is that both parties are happy. So let's just keep it as simple as that. This is still the model that I'm looking to create, is something more like a farmer's market than it is a corporation. Somebody gives me something, I take it out to the market, I am able to help sell it for them, I give them the money. Now in the future, am I going to be able to do this for a living? I still think so. I still think that there is some growth here that has been just waiting to happen. But in the meantime, I got a lot of things I'm trying to do. Every artist that I've run into here does not do music as their full-time job. They're doing this on the side. So time is a valuable resource for all of us. And I'm working on my own music as well as working on stuff for other people's music. So time is very valuable to me. We all have a family. We all have a love interest. We all have all these things in our lives. So I'm able to spend a certain amount of time per day on Mastonic Records. And I need it to be productive, valuable time. So I would hope that everybody would appreciate what I'm saying here and the reasons why, and I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, please send me a message, leave a comment, whatever. Lastly, the database. Similarly to what happened last year when the voting got so outrageous with hundreds and hundreds of votes coming in, and I was manually taking care of it and figuring it out. It got to a situation I couldn't handle. I had to have some kind of automation brought in, and that's where Rick came in and built me the voting machine. Invaluable that has been. He was unavailable to me for a couple of months, and he's very, very busy. And now he has some time in his schedule. He's agreed to handle the database, which I've mentioned several times already, but what does that mean? That means that you, the artist, will be able to go and log in on our webpage like you do to vote. And the webpage will take that information from your login, and it will also, instead of just saying vote on this contest, it will also be a prompt for you to be able to click and see your stats as an artist. That means that you're not going to have to seek me out every quarter. That means it'll be automatically available to you 24 hours a day. You'll be able to see the sales data. Now, iTunes is doing this thing now that I can see through Songcast. Songcast is the people that we put music up for sale with. they're doing a thing now where they give you like almost real-time tracking, up-to-date stats as far as whatever on whatever day recently you sold this many MP3s. It's an iTunes thing, not an Amazon thing, but it is yet another feature that's available to us, and we're going to work that into the database as well. So you'll be able to click on this, see your stats the entire time that you've had music up for sale. It'll be easy to understand, and there'll be a running balance at the bottom that shows how much money you've earned through Mastonic, how much money you've received from Mastonic through PayPal, and how much money you have left in your balance with us. I don't make any money on the deal, as I said before. It's a service that I'm providing for free. I think it's important. I think it's a stepping stone for some people, and it might spur them on to the next level. You combine that with the kit that we're releasing that's going to be going around the world for artists that don't necessarily have that level of recording that's going to get them the listen that they really, I think, in most cases are deserving of. I think that we're going to be very effective in the future, and it's only going to get better. We're only going to get bigger. We're not going to get smaller. So this is going to cost about $500 for him to do, and I think it's well worth it because it's going to save hours and hours out of my time, and it's going to allow us to grow to a point where I wouldn't be concerned about having 500 artists. Right now, 500 artists seeking me out on some kind of annual or quarterly basis for money, and having to go through pages and pages of database or pages and pages of spreadsheets, it gets a little ridiculous. So this is going to solve that problem. That's pretty much it for this video. I'm sorry if it went a little long for anybody, but that's where I'm coming from, just so that we all can be on the same page and we all can have an understanding and a common thinking. As I've said before, the sales is just one facet of Mastonic, and I hope it's something that if you want to get involved in, you can appreciate it and you can use it for the tool that it's intended to be. That's all I got. Talk to you guys later.